All right, guys, Solar in the top right side of the map. It's grand finals time. He's gone for a 15 hatchery, 17 pool into an 18 gas. Well, it's the 18th drone takes the gas. You see there. So it's 18 gas, but it's the 18th drone takes the gas and then builds another drone. That drone could have started a bit earlier. I think it should actually be a 19 gas if he does that correctly. Interestingly, Cura in the bottom left, guys, who's had a surprise run to the finals. Not even that big a surprise, but, you know, you could call it that. He's faking 2-Rax Reaper. And he's actually doing a classic Bomb Cloud. Now, this is the OG Bomb Cloud build from, I think, 2018, which is where you go for a 2-barracks marine opening. Now, I was destroying people with this one about like a month ago on the ladder. And I honestly think it's such a wonky opening, but it kind of breaks the Zerg's brain because it doesn't really make sense. Now, the way I would do this is I would build 7 marines, walk across with an SCV, build a bunker at their third, and be like, ha! You weren't expecting that, were you? But I think Solar's practiced against this enough. He knows not to take a third because it will get sniped. He's going to try and get his Overlord to the pillar in time, and I think it will get there just in time. Hide his other Overlords, and he's just going to stay on 2 base for a bit longer. But Kua knows he's going to get that reaction, so he drops a command center, builds another barracks, and I think with the gas now coming in, he will be adding those add-ons and probably going, I would imagine, do you think he goes double tech lab? Probably single tech lab and then double reactor for a heavy marine build. Very cool opening. Oh, it was Mighty Johnson, by the way, with the big anonymous tip we got before. So it was Mighty Johnson, Gemini, who helped fund today's prize pool. Thank you so much. A bunch of others as well, whose names I've already said, but appreciate that. Thank you, guys. So it is double tech lab. Wow, double tech lab, really? So the advantage of double tech lab, guys, you can get stim and shields at the same time, hit an earlier timing. The problem is you can only build 1 marine at a time out of a tech lab. You don't really want to build marauders with Terran versus Zerg, so it does kind of limit your overall production capability. And it's kind of interesting to see how this plays out. He's going to go stim in the main where it's more protected. He'll build shields on the outside tech lab a bit later on. It also disguises how early your upgrade's coming in if they had already scouted this, which they haven't. 2 Zerglings poking forward there. They're going to poke in and out. SCVs are building. What do we got? Okay, Ling speed's finished. 3rd base coming up. I don't know what's going to be the response for Solar, because you know there's 2 barracks pumping early. I guess he goes fast carapace and then just tries to defend with Queen Zergling and have the numbers correct. Now, one thing he has to look out for, and he's well aware of this because Bjorn used to do it to him all the time, is an SCV pull. You will occasionally in this matchup see a Terran push out, try to hide the fact that he's got more Marines than you think, and he pulls like 20 SCVs with it and just tries to shove and hopes you don't have Banelings. With the factory coming down, I very much doubt that is the case. It looks like Q is maybe just committed to a full 2-base timing style. Do you think Q here is going to go Medivacs and then follow up with tanks and just do like a full 2-base push? Remember, the minerals take forever to mine out in the main now. Like, the light minerals take a lot longer to mine out than they used to. So you do get quite a few more minutes of tail on your income before your money runs out. Ling doesn't really see that much. Marines are coming forward with stim and shields. Carapace will not be ready for this push. Now, Lings and Queens, you need a lot of Zerglings here. But you're up 10 workers. You can afford to stop building drones for a bit. I like the Overlords on the pillars. This one over there is kind of in the dead space above that abandoned fountain. Marines, do they commit? It's always scary to commit here. He scans, he sees the Lings. Q decides it's a no. That's what he's looking for. He's saying, is this a green light or a red light? He decides it's an orange light. It's not a run home immediately, but it's definitely don't dive on creep. 3rd and 4th gas have both come in. +1 weapons is on the way. Double medevac starts. 3rd barracks swaps off the tech lab onto the reactor. Factory is going to start tank production. This looks like a pretty committed 2-base tank push. Now, on this map, where do you push, guys? Tank here, push on that north. Or if you push through the middle, this is way too wide open. Oh, you go tank there. You can kind of go across these different ledges, maybe. You can also push this angle from down here. I imagine you just push through the middle and you leapfrog from this ledge over to this ledge. You kind of spread around both and you kind of like march up in between the bases. For now, the fact that he's so active in the north of the map is interesting. Making us think he might Might have thought there would be a 4th base there and he wanted to deny it. Now, the Overlord, I don't know. Does Solar know where he is? Let's go to Solar's camera. Not sure if he's aware of where that army is.
Our forces are under attack.
There we go. Tank arrives. Okay, he's going to push this northern angle. Clears the creep, and he's got a nice little pocket here, right? A little corner where you can shove the tanks, and you can kind of work your way around high ground, low ground. He's going to go home now. He's very wary of getting surrounded. And, oh, he picks up and goes to the high ground. Interesting. Retreats from the creep. The queens move down and respread the creep. It's going to be a very slow push. He's got double libs, tanks, and marines building. I love that Q is playing this cool 2-base push style. I've been so curious how these builds feel. See, Solar has more income, but it's going to be about the trading. So Terran's all about looking for the efficient trade. So far, a perfect game for Terran. Hasn't lost any units. Oh, he's going to split push. That's crazy. But Solar's aware. Oh, Solar's aware of it. This is going to be an easy cleanup for Solar on the south. It's only one tank that's exposed, though, which is not the end of the world. Cure. Save the Marines. Tank goes down. Oh, he pushes on this edge. I don't think this is good for Cure. I think this is... It's too broken up. I think Solar cleans this army up, and then your tank counts reset, and you might be screwed. Oh, he's going to pick up and drop the main. Marines are going to make this kind of costly on the low ground. There's only 2 medevacs. He can't evacuate with the Marines. These Marines need to do more damage. Cure playing a bit of a crazy style here. A bit of a wild man style. He's going to go for the spawning pool by the looks of it, and it's not a bad play. He drops down south. Banelings clean up the south side. Just feels like Solar's all over it. He's not found, like I said, there's not like a super obvious push angle on this map. I think Sanctuary might have been a better map for this. Lockdown, definitely a better map for this in terms of the different angles that are available to you. I'm not sure if Washout was the right map for this choice, but so there he goes. 7 drones have gone down so far to the double lib. The drop in the main is there. I still got a lot of pressure, a lot of lost mining time, and we've seen Beyond with these 2-base styles lose 2, 3 big armies. Looks like he's losing the game. And then he'll just crush one big perfect fight, and suddenly he's destroying. We've seen that so many times from Beyond. Does Kua have that same energy? Lib's starting to go down. This one's got to run away. There's too many queens. They can tank the libs to the face. Oh my gosh, there's 2 more libs. Dude, he's going massive. This is a style I would use to troll people on ladder. This is a crazy style. Another lib does fall, though. This one's getting denied. He's bringing 2 libs in on that side. Spore's going to move in on the high ground. For some reason, there's a hologram of a Moopy dancing over there. I don't know why, guys. Liberator's moving away. He's got a Marine tank army. He does have a 3rd up. He's got double engineering bay. +2 carapace already on the way, though. Zerg is ahead on the upgrades. The lib turns around. 17 drones have gone down, which is a good amount, but army versus army, easy win for Solar with an A move. He's got 120 Zerglings, 20 Banes. This army gets wiped. Cure wasn't even looking, so he didn't even stim his Marines. Oh, my lord. He does dive in the north, though. That's where he could find damage. Oh, my lord. Solar not looking this time. That's a lot of drones going down. Gets an Overlord. Will grab a Queen. Tries to drop over here. He could redrop that, and indeed he will, but the Lingbane's turned around, and if Cure's not looking, he's not looking. Oh, yes, he is. Cure with the multitasking. Absolutely beautiful. Dude, Cure's up 20 supply. This is the power. I've talked about this dynamic where you lose army after army, but there's just so much chaos. The libs get in 4 places at once, and the trading. When you do catch the Zerg out of position or they fight into it, normally when Beyond does this, it's eventually he comes with like his 3rd wave and the Zerg just gets wrecked because there's so many Marines and tanks in a perfect position, even though the Zerg kind of crushed the previous 2 waves. But this time, look at this. He's got a 3rd behind it. He's got double upgrades going. This is so insane. I am so impressed. Cure is not a super fast player. He is not as good at multitasking as a lot of the other guys, but by keeping this into like more of a mid-game skirmish build-up, he's like, I'm over here, I'm over here. Here's libs, here's libs, here's libs. And I think Liberators are one of the best asymmetric forms of warfare in StarCraft in that it forces a lot more actions out of your opponent to respond to the Liberators than it takes for you to use them. But that's the last Liberator. Now it's basically just tanks and Marines. And right now it's very dangerous because +2 carapace is done, +2 bioweapons isn't. This could be the perfect time for Solar to fight. But that's only if he has the numbers, and I don't know if he even really does. 10 SCVs go down. Beautiful run by there. Chathammer on the high ground. She does guard the units, but she also kills a lot of friendlies. Liberator comes in from that side. +2 weapons is getting really close here for Cure. Uses a couple Marines, but not too many. Cleans up the Overlord there as well. He's building a 4th command center behind this. He's got a second factory. I mean, second factory, 5 barracks, 4th command center on the way. He's doing really well. Liberator repositions to the natural. It does go down, but this base is not mining. Solar misclicked his drones back. Not quite where they needed to go. Solar's going to have to fight into this, and I think it's game losing because of the army supply difference, and now that +2's kicked in for Terran, that's going to be really big. The Ling Bane just cannot fight against that many Marines and tanks off creep. Look at the number of Marines. Some of those Marines aren't even stimmed. Some of those Marines were not even stimmed there. The Hydras, though, almost breaking the line. There's just enough Medivacs, Marines, and tanks that I think Cure... No, he does lose the position. Okay. Solar with an impressive hold. I mean, obviously, barely breaking a position when a lot of the Terran army still rallying across the map is not always what you want as a Zerg. You kind of want to shut it down and have a lot of army left over, but 5 Hydras, 34 Zerglings against 4 tanks, 20 Marines. Only 2 tanks and about 13 Marines are actually here on the front right now, though. Maybe Solar can pull off a miracle. He's up 3 workers. Q is floating his 4th command center out. Oh my. The fire alarm test is complete. Super high-pitched noises that I hope my mic didn't pick up. I apologize if they did, guys. Hopefully no one's eardrums got wrecked there. I'm sure some people's dogs are whining and screaming in pain at that. That sounded terrible. 2 tanks do go down in the front. Marines cleaning up the Hydras, the Lings, and the Banes. The Hydras are going to try to fall back now. And I think Q has just got him on the ropes. 4th command center is there. +3 weapons, +2 vehicle weapons. Q has kept this in that kind of mid-game trading stage where a guy like him can focus on tactics and clean macro rather than just multitasking at the insane level you get in a Raynor versus Maru or Raynor versus Clem match, where Q is clearly disadvantaged in those sorts of games. And I love that he was able to drag this one down into this 2-base push war. Normally a style that Beyond really excels in, but in this case it was Cure who found a way to do it. And of course, I think that few extra minutes of mining in the main and natural has really worked out. It's 14 minutes. His natural still not half mined out. So his natural still at full mining. 14.5 minutes into the game. Whereas obviously normally it's 11.5 minutes when your natural is half mined out. So that's a really big extension to his early income. It's partially because he did that 2 barracks opening. So his command center was even later than normal. All right, Marine drop moving to the right side. Marine tank up here. Ultra Cavern's on the way, but Solar don't got much money. It's a poor Zerg, man. Blinding Cloud's nice, though. Good lunge forward. If he didn't lunge, there is a world where, like, a really crazy fast Terran might instantly unsiege those tanks, pick them up in a medevac, and get them out of there just before they die. But Cure has more important fish to fry. And when I say fish, I mean hatcheries on both sides of the map going down simultaneously. Marine tank re-engaging on the north. The Hydras try to lunge forwards. The Ling Bane is enough to overwhelm here. Q is going to lose this push. At the same time, the Marine drop in the south goes down. And actually, Solar finding some pretty good fights. Q has got to keep it in his pants a little bit. He's up 3-2 against 2-1-2 upgrades. And it's going to be really just one more good fight for Q. Should push Solar over the edge. He's got a Viper for increased value over time. It's gathering energy. He's got an Ultra Cavern with a single Ultra and Chitinous Plating building. It's obviously going to be good against Marines, but feels like one Ultra is not really going to turn the tide of this battle. I wonder if this is a viable style long term, or it's more of just a once in a blue moon. Is this like a 1 in 3 games? A 1 in 5 games? In every game on the right map strategy? Or is it a 1 in 20 game surprise strategy, right? That's always the question once people get settled into the meta. Early days, figuring out the new timings. Lots of things available that might not work long term. Marines are going to pick up and boost into the main base. That was a really good hatchery kill, though. Keep in mind, guys, that's 2 hatcheries are being killed, multiple cancelled. Picking up quite a few Zerglings. Really nice moves here for Cure. He's going to push the south side as well. He's got a good tank line. The single Ultralisk Chitinous Plating is not quite ready. The Blinding Cloud does only hit the front tank. The Ultra goes down before its +2 armor upgrade kicks in there with Kindness Blading, and Solar just realized he does not have the numbers. Cure. How many libs did he build that game? Was it 5? 5 Liberators. 19 tanks, 197 Marines. But he kept the fighting all on Solar's side of the map, and that Liberator harass just stressed Solar out so much. Beautiful game one for Cure. All right, guys, Solar in the top left side of the map, Cure in the bottom right side. He's going for the low ground wall off again. Is it going to be Marines again? Reapers? It's really, really interesting that the 2 barracks Marine into 3 racks, into 2 base heavy push style. He did find himself a fair bit behind, and yet he managed to just keep him contained. The libs really paid off big. This time he goes barracks gas. Now that was a barracks 13 gas, guys. So he did cut a few seconds of SCV production. Not a lot, just a little bit to try and get this Reaper out nice and early. And I imagine it's a 2 racks, yeah? Now 2 racks Reaper, the analysis I've heard, the preliminary analysis, some Zerg said it's bad, but every Terran keeps doing it. I don't know. I've not really raised judgment. But I've heard a few Zergs say 2 racks Reaper is really bad on this patch. It slows down your economy so much. And Zerg just needs to drone up their 2 bases and they will get ahead. Let's see how it plays out. Let's try and analyze it a little bit and see how we go. So spawning pool first build. Now that's good against the early Reaper, but as the Reaper number grows, I think it's still good because you get an earlier 3rd queen as well. Earlier 1st queen, earlier 3rd queen. Yeah, overall this should be solid defense for Solar. Why does Zerg start a gas and then destroy it? So whenever you build a building, the drone dies. So if you build it, drops you down by 1 supply, you squeeze an extra unit out, and then you cancel the extractor, which only loses you 6 minerals, because you get 75% refund, and the extractor's only 25 minerals to begin with. And then you can basically go oversupply by doing this. So this mechanic got utilized the most in pro matches around 2014-2015 when Snoop became the best swarm host player in the world, I would say. And he would often, when he started banking lots of money in late game, he would very quickly build 30 spore crawlers. And then he would basically replace all that. He'd drop him down to 170 out of 200 supply. He'd build 30 fighting units. And then he'd cancel all the spore crawlers and send the drones back to mining. And that was a really cool way where he would actually go up to 220 to 230 supply almost every game. That was a very slow, boring style where that sort of move made a lot of sense. You don't see it very often these days. But definitely managing your supply is something players should really pay a bit more attention to. Usually there's a bit too much trading going on, so it's not really slow enough for it to be worth doing that on such a big scale. But people will just do it in the early game to get one more unit out here or there while waiting for the Overlord. Zerglings ready for the Reapers. Good grenade. The Zerglings dodge the grenade and immediately reassume the position. 3rd command center build. Okay, so Q is going to play, this time it's 2 barracks Reaper into 3cc. Very familiar build order from pre-patch. That makes perfect sense. Players will be adapting all the same build orders. Of course, with the Reaper's build time being slowed down by 2 seconds, this build has been hit on the nose pretty directly. In terms of just the impact of these early Reapers is quite slowed down. I think this build was already, players were saying, questionable before this 2-second build time nerf to the Reaper. See how it fares now. Solar, he's got his natural up to 14 workers, main up to 16, 3rd's on the way. Of course, the 3rd got quite delayed here, but I think Solar's quite comfortable with this position now. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 2nd gas in an Evo chamber. A lot of Zergs don't like droning their 3rd up when it's not finished. So they kind of at this point go, oh, what can I build? Oh, you know what? If I take a 2nd gas, put back on gas, make an early upgrade, that is somewhere for my drones to go while I wait for the 3rd base to finish. I think it's perfectly fine to just rally to the 3rd, which is actually what Solar's going for this game. He does still build 1 Evo chamber, but I actually like this. Even if they do 1 long distance mining trip, it's not that bad. Sometimes players, especially low-level players, if they see that they're at 16 out of 16, they think it's illegal to build more drones. It's a really bad mindset to be in. And I kind of joke that, like, you know, if you go over 16, up to 20 is perfectly fine on a base. They still mine at not a terrible rate. But a lot of people see the number turn red on the hatchery and they go, oh, red number, bad. And you'll see most average Joes play StarCraft and they always stay under 16. They're always on 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 16. And I'm like, bro, if you're a noob, you're much better sitting at 18, 19, 20 and having a bit more of a buffer rather than being below 16, which really costs you a lot of income. Yeah, it should be 16 to 20 should be yellow, and then red for 21 or higher. Totally agree, chat. All right, guys, so this is a very technical harassment called box art, the box art attack. It's 3 Reapers, 1 Hellion, 1 Banshee, and 5 Marines. The goal of this attack is to confuse your opponent into thinking for a moment, am I playing against a Gold League opponent? Obviously, not a normal army. For those who don't know, for the kids who, I guess, didn't grow up in the old days, on the boxes, they always tried to show how cool the game was, so they'd show like as many different units as possible. There'd be like screenshots of battles on every RTS game where there's like, there's 1 Raven and a battle cruiser doing a Yamato cannon, and there's a Banshee, and look, there's a Ghost, and there's 1 Ultralisk and 1 Infestor, and like they just wanted to have as many cool things and units on the box art as possible. That's kind of what this timing is. Reaper, Banshee, Marine. It's a Kua special. He does love his 2 racks into Banshee build. He didn't go Cloak this time, so it was just 1 Banshee trying to force spores, trying to force the commitment to a lair. And then the Marines hit harder than ever because, of course, the Zerg's thinking about Hellions, Banshees. The Stim Marine's quite nasty there. Perfect game. Hasn't lost a single unit just yet. Wow, dude. Kua's looking very, very clean on this patch. This is really nice. For those who don't know, he 3-0'd Clem's Protoss in the semifinals as well. Kua has just been on a tear today. Trading really well. Obviously, he's down 11 workers, but that 4th base is so vulnerable. He's just got to not throw his units away. He's gone a bit deep, so he picks up, goes into the main. Banshee's still hanging out there, pulls away from the Queens. This is just brilliant play. Third's up. He's got 1-1 upgrades on the way, admittedly behind the carapace of Zerg, but that's okay. Takes out the Spore, gets in the corner, kills a few Zerglings, picks up and leaves, only loses 2 Marines. Really clean play for Kua. Happy to play this step-by-step stage where he's got these pressures that really slow the pace down. He shoots the depot just to check it's not an illusion. No, it's actually made out of steel. It's fine. Comes forward again. Loses 1 of his Reapers. He's still got 2 left. Another Reaper goes down. Kua will back away. Still 2-1 in the trading. And guess what? In the midst of that, the Banshee sneaks in. Does the Banshee beat the Queen here? I think it does just barely. Queen's going to try to run away. There's a Spore Crawler which will save it. Not to mention the other Queen with the Transfuse. Very good micro by Solar. He even cancels that Spore Crawler because he knows he can move this one up if he needs it. But he doesn't need it. And the Banshee goes down. Good defense. Solar finally stabilizing. You can put Solar in the most awkward position. He never loses his cool. This next push needs to do big damage. And look, he breaks the rocks. That would have guarded this tank so well. Still a really good position for Kua. But I feel like if Solar can defend this, Bane speed 15 seconds away, he's going to be good. 4th hatchery is going to die. Kua needs to click that. Great play. Kua gets the hatchery, but Solar calmly realizes he can transfer to the other base in the middle, and he's still in a good spot. 2nd factory goes down, a few more SCVs building. Still no 4th command center down just yet. Not to mention, where is the 2-2 upgrades, guys? Neither side has started their 2-2. Lacking money right now is Kua, and I think a wise choice to pull away. Preserve these units for another day. Chad Hammer on the high ground. She guards the 3rd mineral line as ever. But Carapace is picked up first by Solar, and Kua, I don't know if he realizes, but his 2-2's not begun. He might have pressed the button, just cycled through, tapped the buttons without looking at his resources, without checking that the upgrade actually started. The longer he goes without 2-2, the more problematic this is. It's not going to matter until Carapace kicks in, but in the meantime, there we go, finally. 2-2 does get remembered. Kua's up 1-0. If he can get a 2nd game here on Rainfall, it'd be such a massive advantage in this series. And these bridges, you can't really flank this from the left. It's a terrible area for Zerg to engage. So I love this position he's in. You got to kind of go through these areas, and you can pull across these bridges as needed as the Terran. I think actually a tank here could be amazing. Tank there, tank there. Gonna move forward, trying to force Solar into engaging. Solar's gonna pull the trigger, guys. No? Is he? Yes? No? He's gonna go for the counter. Good call. Good call. This is a really hard base to defend for Zerg on this map. Tank's trying to focus the Ling Bane down. The Marines getting surrounded here. Oh, the Marines get hammered on the right side. Solar's Banelings get even onto the Marines on the bridge. Oh, the Hydras smash the Medivacs, and that was a brilliant set of positioning for Solar. Shuts down the push, and that should be lights out. That was an incredibly committed army, and you don't come back from a loss like that. That was way too one-sided. Even though the units lost tab is in Cua's favor, I feel like that's really bad. But okay, maybe I'm calling it too soon. Solar's only just rebuilt his 5th hatchery, or started rebuilding. Terran's floating a 4th out. Terran still has 30 Marines on the map, admittedly very little behind it. He's going to go Drilling Claw mines. So he's building mines constantly. It's a lot of Hydras. Hive's halfway done, Lurker's halfway done. I mean, it's a big advantage for Solar, but it's not game over. Ooh, oh, that's a big catch. That'll help. 4 Marines out in the open. Doesn't quite get the 5th one, which is kind of a bummer, because Solar still has 5 Queens, so he's still kind of got enough to respread creep tumors and do injects. But it's nice. Opens up the window. Oh, whoa, Kua not watching. Kua not watching. He's going to lose a medevac and a bunch of Marines that got unloaded there. Meanwhile, over here as well, yeah, Solar's realizing if I fight in multiple areas, that's where Kua tends to struggle. 5th Command Center is building. Frenzy is on the way. The nanomuscular lunge, nanomuscular swell for the Hydras. The Lurker upgrade, Viper's on the way. +3 Carapace, Adrenal. The amount of things Zerg has to invest their resources in at Hive Tech. It feels very painful to spend that money, but boy does it feel good when those upgrades kick in. I mean, they are so powerful. Kua's on a bit of a timer to get some more damage, some more momentum, to keep the Zerg busy and on the back foot. Problem is, it's only a matter of time until those Lurkers cascade across this map, and with only 1 siege tank, 5 Marauders, and Marines to defend, I have a feeling we're going to see Solar's first Lurker timing win this game. It's not a foregone conclusion, but it's highly likely. Widow Mines do fire, hot pickup for Kua. Pulls away towards the main base. Spore Crawler rotates there. What's Kua building? Another factory. I think he does love extra tank production. It's very good against Lurkers. Marine Marauder in the back is going to try and escape now. We'll have to go back past the Spore Crawler, take a few pot shots. Still denying these corner bases. At least he's keeping Solar on 5 base. Kua goes forwards on the right. Takes out some creep. Lingbane Hydra rolling forward. Focuses down one of the Banes. Looks like a good trade for Kua. Picks up and leaves at the perfect time. Brilliant play. He's ahead 3,500 on the trading. His 4th is up. His 5th base is now finished. You can see an extra tech lab coming in on his 3rd factory. He's going to have 2 factory tech labs, 1 with a reactor, but only 2 siege tanks, and they're on the map. And I just cannot help but feel the first Lurkers that hit this base, which are morphing right now over here, they're going to run in, and this 3rd is going to get destroyed. I don't think Chadhammer can defend this on her own. That being said, Kua's technique might be don't defend the base, counterattack. And that could work out. I mean, he's up here with a tank and a few mines in the corner. He's trying to create as much fear, as much disruption as possible, but I think Solar's had enough with sitting in his corner and waiting. Adrenal's here, +1 Ranger's here. He's got Lurkers coming forwards as well. Only 2 tanks, and oh, the Viper's going to abduct Chadhammer and her nephew that she brought in for work experience this week. Oh no! Lingbane Hydra rolls forwards. The Widowmine fires, doesn't really get anything. Bio in the top right's going to go in. He's going to try and take out this hatchery as well. Luckily for Kua, he doesn't lose too many SCVs. Did he lose the command center? Oh, and he actually snipes a hatchery here as well. Back to 4 base for you, Zerg player. Unfortunately, that base is very vulnerable. Kua's busy trying to drop the main, trying to keep the Zerg busy, but Solar's all over that 4th. And it looks like Solar is poised to tie up this series. Cleans up this army in the main. The medevac's damaged. Desperately trying to retreat. Gonna save this siege tank on the low ground, but hold on. Hold my beer, says Kua. It ain't over until the fat Terran sings. And he takes out another hatchery on the right side. Solar reeling. Kind of F2ing from right to left, from right to left, and needs to spread his units out to cover these options. Not quite being able to, but this does feel like a drop too far. Going way too deep, and that there, yeah, that, ooh, he's going to drop the main again. I think he realizes he's in tatters back home. He needs a minute or 2 to recover. He's hoping these drops are going to find damage. Solar struggling in the chaos, but I do think at the end of the day, he'll still come out a bit on top. Look at that. Still hiding a few Marines in the corner, a few medevacs over there. not able to reestablish control of this base. The scan comes down, the lurker being very annoying, and 4 lurkers. I love the spread on these lurkers. Feels a bit claustrophobic right now, doesn't it? Q is going to try and stim and flank in on this army. He's not got a scan. He's not got a scan. This orbital has scans, but it's floating. Oh, but Solar unburrows. There's still no scans. Oh, no. The spread out lurkers are going to cause such problems. Look at this. If he stumbles into these, he can't even scan to kill them. I mean, Q is hanging on by a fingernail right now. It feels like you might think, oh, but Q is really good. He is, guys. But imagine he's a really good world-class climber. He's an Adam Ondra. He's an Alex Honnold. But right now, he's not just free soloing El Capitan. He's also doing it wearing those stupid slippery leather gloves that the girl was wearing in Cliffhanger. You guys remember the start of Cliffhanger? He's trying to freaking climb with no ropes, wearing stupid gloves. What was she doing wearing those gloves? They were such a dumb choice. He was meant to be an expert mountaineer. Sylvester Stallone. His girlfriend's got slippery gloves on. Not to mention, I don't know who designed that bit of safety that ended up breaking on the rope. That would never happen in real life unless you got that thing on Temu. That thing's wild, man. It is wild. Did you guys know? Hot tip about Cliffhanger. As Kua tries to fight back in this. Apparently the company that makes those, because they used an actual company's bit of gear and showed it breaking, they sued them and got paid out quite a lot of money because they're like, yeah, that would never happen. They're like, I can't believe you showed our logo and then showed our gear breaking and someone dying, dude. Movie makers are like, oh, I don't know, we didn't really think about it. I don't know if that's real or not. I've been told that story. Anyways, Q is pretty dead in this game. Let's see if he can make some magic happen, guys. Solar's all over it. Q is just struggling to reestablish his 5 base. 5 base Terran can always bring it back. Solar's reestablishing 6 bases, taking a 7th on the left, and he's got a big attack here. Can the Bio Ghost hold the line? Blinding Clouds are brilliant. Solar crashing over in waves. A lot of units coming in from the right side, but even though the Ghost Marauders microed well, all the tanks are gone. The Ghosts taking Banelings to the chin. Chadhammer 3.0 is on the high ground as the fallback point. Solar will have to fall back, but takes out a base there, throws up a Nidus in the main. You're going to have Lurkers to deal with in your main. You're already struggling to have enough scans just to see the Lurkers. Does take care of the Nidus Worm, but with 5 Lurkers out, they're going to guard, so a new Nidus Worm can come up. Q is going to have to tap out, and that is going to be GG. All right, guys, guess what? Sorry, had to have a banana there. No time for lunch today, but guess what? It's a pull first. He dodged the Reaper with the 6 Zerglings. Gets in with the punish, denies the command center. Queen defends the Reaper. Wow, nice opening. This is a classic matchup we've seen since the very early days of StarCraft 2. When Terran does not go for the SCV scout, they go for that Reaper expand. You go pull first, you dodge them with 6 Zerglings, and Solar finds big profit. We had a comment in chat after that last game. They said it feels like Q is having to play every game from behind in this series. It would be nice for him to not be behind for once. Well, guess what? He did a 1-Rax expand this time, a bit more of a normal build rather than the 2-Barracks build. Misses the Zerglings, doesn't SCV scout, and now he finds himself behind again. Q is having to work uphill in this series, and yeah, he's been making a good go of it. This one feels worse, I gotta say though. Oh, he almost gets a drone. That would have been such a nice snipe. Great spore trick for Solar at the last second. Did team kill Kua? Kua team killed Clem earlier today. We'll see what he can do. 3rd command center comes up. Building a few Hellions. Has a starport on the way. Gonna be really rough. I think he should go Banshee with no cloak. Reaper? Oh, there's a ledge over here. Look at that. Didn't even realize there was a ledge there. Very cute. Sees the 3rd hatchery on the left side. At Eternity's Edge is a big map. This is a map I was saying earlier. You might want to play mech on a map like this, because it's such a tough map for ZVT. I think Old Sun Temple might actually be better for Terran than this map. This map just feels hard to push on as a Terran. You do get a nice watchtower, and it's kind of choked up here, I guess, with some ledges on either side, but just feels like a few too many wide open areas and just too much distance between your bases and the Zergs to get an early push off easily. Marines and aliens just dancing around. Zergling gets in the main, gets a full scout. Solar says, hey, buddy, what's up? Oh my gosh, Q loses an SCV. That's rough. SCV to a Zergling scout. He's gone Cloaked Banshee. I don't like Q's style. So Q's style feels very generic, very safe, very normal. And you've had a bad start. You're behind, you're supply blocked, you have to do a supply drop there. He's not rallied his third command center. It feels like this is a situation where Q really needs to step up in this series. You're on the worst map for you in the pool. You've F2'd your Marines to the front accidentally. This feels like he's still not rallying SCVs. I always look for when a player is behind, they've messed up, and they snap into gear and they play better. Q is not giving me that energy right now. He's giving me, oh god, this game's a mess. What do I do? Clicking buttons. That's the energy I'm detecting from Q in this game. That's what my energy normally is in these scenarios. It's what I expect from myself. And a guy like Q is normally so cool and calm and collected. This game just seems to have got under his skin a bit. He's just a bit thrown off his build order. At least he's got the third down now. If he brings this one back, I'll be very impressed, because it does feel like Solar's going to have a free path to 85 workers, 5 tech, and there's not going to be many opportunities to do anything about it. Two queens going down, not bad. Alien's kind of getting wrapped around, but they're still going to trade pretty well. Ooh, never mind, guys. Solar underestimating the power. Q needs to get out of there. Go home and repair. Oh, thank you for the 300 biddies. I appreciate you guys. Sorry, I decided to tap deeply into my condescending superpower just there in between the games. 2 drones do go down. Hellions getting a good bit of annoyance here. Not really doing much damage, but 3 drones mining time. It's not bad. It's a disruption, you know. Gets a few Zerglings as well. These Banshees should have gone home to repair, though. Q has got to keep it. He's got to pack it up. Pack it up. These Banshees are going to be very useful later on to stop run-bys, to roam around, maybe join an attack a little bit, but you don't want to throw them away. He's got 5 barracks. Next up, normally you go 5th gas, 2nd factory, and armory. So 5th gas goes down. Where's the 2nd factory and armory? I guess he's just waiting for the money. Let's watch this from Q's point of view. Armory goes down before 2nd factory. It's a little earlier than needed. He's got money for 2nd factory. Just not prioritizing it. Might go for a quicker 4th command center here. She's clearing creep. Marine tank up north. Oh, he's still roaming the map. He's refusing to accept a defensive stance. Oh, I mean, Solar is on 80 workers. He's being greedy, but I just don't know if you've got a real window with how bad this early game was. 2nd factory goes down. Builds a few more depots. He's a little supply blocked, but won't be for too long. Puts on gas. Builds a few more SCVs. I feel like this fight's not going to go well, guys. The Banshees will be at home defending. Look at this. Bane speed is kicking in. There's a lot of Ling Bane ready. And Q wisely runs away. Wisely runs away. Fighting here would be giving Solar exactly what he wants, which is a cleanup on your army. And then complete creep spread will just blossom across the map. You want to be active on the map. But this is a much safer, I want to deny creep and maybe bait you into a weird fight, but I don't want to take any risks sort of situation. Overlord goes down, a couple creep tumors. A few more Marines and tanks joining up. Banshees on the left never ended up repairing, and that's unfortunate because they're going to die. Infestation bits on the way, +1 range, +2 carapace as well. These are some very solid upgrades for the Zerg player. Terran player is going to have to play catch up. You can see +2 is coming in now, but carapace is about a minute ahead. Extra hatchery on the left side as well. Solar wants that fight. He wants to clean this army up. But he's pulled back to the corridor here. This is kind of a dangerous area for Zerg to go into. Even then, I think Q needs to get out of here. I think Q is just in such a compromised spot in this game, and Solar knows it. He's got a friggin' 30 supply lead, and he wants to lean on that lead right now. There's a tank at home. He's going to build a depot to wedge it in the corner a little bit. There's so few units back there. At least the Zergling will get shot down by the tank, but I think Solar's just going to click these guys in. You see how big the army is on the front. There can't be a big army at home. Will A move his Ling Bane in. The tank's going to clear some of it, but only some of it. That's just so many Banelings. He's got another tank on the rally. Good spready on the SCVs. Dude, The Zerglings are all bugging out. He does get 17 workers up there, but that tank positioning, I mean, that honestly should have been worse for Cure. He still loses 20 workers, which sucks, but that was a pretty sick tank positioning with that little depot in front of it. What a tank corner. It's got 25 kills as well. Chadhammer. Chadhammer. Holy moly, Chadhammer. Chadhammer gets reincarnated for every map, guys. It's normally a tank on the high ground. In this case, though, that is definitely a Chadhammer-worthy position. She is really happy with having survived that spot. You can just see the way the Lings derp into those little choke points and all get stuck behind each other. And when they do that, they clump up more than usual, so they take way more splash damage. But this is a bad push. I think 2-2 is not finished for Terran. Carapace is done for Zerg. Solar could easily loop around and shut this army down. I feel like Cure is right now gift-wrapping his army for Solar. 2-2, it's almost there. Dude, I don't think forcing a fight makes any sense for Cure right now, does it? He's got a lot of Marines. His 2-2's kicked in. It's equal upgrades. Guess the attack upgrades aren't quite there for Zerg, but Carapace is the important one. He's looping around. He's going to catch the rally. Cure sieges the tank. Solar looking unusually cautious. He's maxed with 2k minerals in the bank, and I guess he doesn't want to throw this army away and then lose all of this tech and base. But he's got to make something happen. Solar's Hive tech is coming in now. Adrenal glands, Lurker upgrades, Hydra upgrades. The tank count's been very impressive for Cure. 8 siege tanks, 88 marines, 8 medevacs. It's the rule of 8s. Oh, 8s together strong. Is it going to be enough? It's a lot of marines and tanks. Banelings on creep. The tanks are firing. The marines are as well. The Viper comes in late. Solar! Oh my lord, Solar! He screwed the pooch. He messes it up. He kind of goes in, backs out of it halfway. And never back out of it halfway, guys. Always go full Zerg. Always go full Zerg or don't go at all. Solar just threw an army away. Cure, fighting from an impossible start, is fighting back again. What is this series? Cure is just getting butchered in the early game every single time and then punching way up from behind. What in the world? His tanks have all gone down now, though. He's only got 1 tank left on the front. He thinks about dropping, thinks better of it. The double Evo snipe would have been good there, but it would have been incredibly risky with Hydras and a Viper and all those Queens on the field. So what he's going to do, guys, he's going to send most of his army home, and he's going to leave 1 tank and these Marines here to sacrifice. I guess maybe he thought Solar was going to counterattack him? I don't know. Okay, Cure, he's gone from amazing push, finding good fights, to just throwing units away for no reason. What are these guys doing? What are these guys doing? It's a bit of a mess. Cure can't believe that fight went as well for him as it did. Even he can't believe. He's like, am I winning this game now? Okay, I guess you guys clear creep on the way home. And the edge of the scan barely gets the creep tumors. Wow, 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 wow. What is going on? Chat says, I feel in this series Solar respected Cure too much. I think you guys say it perfect. I think that's the best way of putting it. Definitely. Oh, the 2 full medevacs escape. The army's rotated up here. Can he get rid of that hatchery? Solar, I think he missed many opportunities where he could have slapped Cure off this map. But he just stayed too defensive. And now it's an incredibly close game. The Lurk attacks in. And what does Cure have for the late game? He's got a few Ghosts, a few Marauders. He's got 7 tanks, actually. He's got a lot of tanks. Picks up, saves these units. He's still got a double drop down the bottom, deep in the red. That Carapace Evo chamber would be such a juicy snipe. If you can snipe that, it is worth losing all of these guys. +3 weapons is on the way for Terran. He's got a lot of tanks here. The Hydras are just going to shove it. Crazy attack for Solar, but there's so little bio support, it might just work. The Orbital is tanking some damage. The SCV is trying to repair. There's so many tanks with +1 vehicles, but the Banelings blow up all the SCVs. The tanks get breached. All of his Marines on the other side getting hammered. 23 workers in an Orbital go down, and he steps into the Lurkers, and no! I thought Cure was back in that game with that push down here, man. Then he pushed up the ramp. The tanks got busted, and it felt like he couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to drop or go home and chill. And Solar fights back. What a crazy series. All right, guys. Solar in the bottom left side of the map. Cure in the bottom right side. And this is a command center first on Old Sun Temple. But dude, for the second time today, Solar gets lucky. It's either cross map or horizontal spawn, and Solar is going to scout his opponent first. Now, I say gets lucky. It kind of goes both ways though, right? Because he gets lucky and then he scouts Cure immediately. He gets unlucky and then it's not cross map. cross-map's way better for Zerg. And obviously his natural is going to be in the direction of Terran. And then he'll probably take his third here, mine these minerals out, take his fourth up here. He wants to expand away from Terran. And it does create a kind of interesting layout on this map. Now, it is going to be, I think that was 16 command center, 17 barracks, 18 gas. I think we'll see a second gas probably on maybe 19 supply as well. Cool build order. Command center first. You want to always make sure you cut SCVs to get it a little bit earlier to make sure it kicks in early enough to unsupply block you. Whole point of command center first, Nexus first, is you don't want to have to do that and build a really early second depot or pylon. If you can cut that out of the build order, it makes it way more efficient. Second gas does go down, Overlord scouts in. Why would you expand away from Terran? Because you want as much space as possible. As a Zerg, you just want to keep them at arm's length. Keep them away from you because they're going to be attacking you. They've got units that have very strong timing attacks, and if you fight right when their upgrades finish, it's usually going to be bad for you as a Zerg. Roach Horn goes down immediately. Solar might just cheese this game. Let's go. You want time to spread creep across the map. You want the Terran to have to step deep into creep where you can surround his army, fight with all the advantages, and you want to often counterattack. When Terran pushes you, you want to loop around and hit him elsewhere. Now, of course, if you expand kind of towards the Terran or in a more compact location, Roaches can fight front on a little bit more. You can hold off a tank advance. You can corrosive bile siege tanks if they walk forwards. Whereas Ling Bane kind of needs to fully commit to an engagement to push those tanks away. Now, Marine's going to come out, push this Overlord away, but those two Lings could cause him troubles. All right, Cure. Can he take out the Zerglings? Oh, the Marine on the high ground. Look at that. The buddy on the high ground covering him. Covering fire. Unfortunately, there's no scouting, and we do already have 5 roaches coming across. 6th one about to pop. There will be drones behind it. This is a single queen opening. He's out of the second queen now behind this. And for Cure, how do you defend this, guys? Well, you have to build Marines. You'll have 4 Marines, 1 Hellion when this hits. You need to pull to your high ground. And perhaps surround the roaches with SCVs. But, I mean, it's not a kill move. This is just meant to do economic damage. And Cure got to build a new depot in the main. Look how quick he was on that, guys. He's already started a new depot in the main. Great reaction speed. And the Ensign Marines do outrange roaches, but the Ravager outranges both of them. That reactor's going to go down, which is going to stop this Marine production, make it only one at a time, which does hurt. You do maintain the production on that other Marine. You see that Marine finishes. The next one's already almost there. CV's exposed on the low ground. Bile's looking very good. The Marines stopping to attack the Overlord. It's actually tanking a lot of damage here. 6 SCVs have gone down. He didn't cancel his depot. That's another 75 minerals he should have got back if he cancelled that. Cure dodging the Biles for now. But he's got to be careful. Can't lose more SCVs or he's in really big trouble. And you can see he's trying to burrow a Widow Mine on the face of the Roach Ravager to push it away. It looks like he will be able to push these Marines. The Marines will be able to push, the Roach Ravager away. Loses the Hellion, though. He's going to have to fall back. The Roach Ravager could dance around this for more annoyance. But as it is, you've killed 9 workers. You've got your own third base started. I think this is good damage. I don't know if it's like game-ending damage. I always am unfamiliar with these situations, especially on the new patch. Like, you can't drone your third straight away. If you could do that, it'd be crazy. But the lack of a third command center is really hurting Cure. And he's got 500 minerals, so he's got to commit to either a third command center or 2 barracks right now. The longer he waits, the scarier this is. It's going to be a 4 Marine single Widow Mine counterattack. The Viking finding 2 Overlords is also quite nice. Actually, the other Overlord survived. You don't want to lose this, though. Run away. Gets the Overlord, pulls back. This Overlord did barely survive. He could just dive on it and click it. But the Zerglings are there. Medevac's going to dive through. Oh, this is not looking good. Cure's got to get out. He's going to almost... Oh, no, no. He's lost it. I think he's lost it. 14 hit points. Maybe, maybe not. Widow Mine's going to burrow there. Force a bit of mining time. He will target the Queen. Medevac flies away. Marine's going to try and target the Queen. And she survives! Beautiful defense here for Solar. Viking flying around, not finding any other pickoffs. And this is a really good spot. That third command center was so delayed. Lair is coming in. Burrow for the Zerg? Guys, he's thinking he can get Burrow on the third base before the command center even lands. No, he's cancelled it. It was a misclick. Never mind. He's like, oh, that's where my 100 minerals and 100 gas went. Let's build a spire. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Solar's in a good spot. Q has been behind most of these openings in this series. It feels like Solar's build order is really coming out on top so far. Banshee floating forward. Sporkrill is going to get some good shots off. Ow. It's only one drone to start. Good mining time. Oh, I love that. Solar evacuates the queen. Does he, though? We get some damage here. Overseer has finished morphing. Don't know where it is, though. I think it might be the scouting Overseer. Oh, it is. The other Overseer at home has not finished morphing. Now it has. But Banshee, denying massive amount of mining time on 2 bases, was really well done. Viking is still on the map, deep in red hit points. Finding the drone, trying to mine out those minerals is always good. Good pull away on that Banshee. Gets a creep tumor as well. Both Banshees alive for now. Cyclone cleans up the Overseer, but... Changeling does get spotted. Cyclone takes it down. In case anyone's like not watching and just listening to the cast, I do sometimes wonder they know what's happening when I just make noises like that. I think it's quite obvious for those who are watching and listening, but maybe a bit more explanation for the listeners only. Oh, he misclicked his Banshees back in, but luckily they both survive. And you just want to hang here and stop him mining these minerals open. Where are you going to take your 4th, Solar? So this is where Q has had a trash opening. Mutas are out. He doesn't even know about it. Well, he's got turrets. Actually, I guess he did see the Spire, didn't he? Yeah, he did see the Spire. So he's got turrets, but it's an awkward spot. But then Solar's like, I don't even have a bloody 4th yet. And he can't even send a drone the long way to take it. All right. Good pull away on these SCVs. Only one goes down to the Mutalisk mounts. It's a refinery with the Mutas. Not a bad start. Obviously, it's not crucial damage. No Terran's going to cry themselves to sleep over that. Continuing to deny creep. Oh, I mean, I like denying creep. I don't like committing to a push here. I think denying creep is good. Committing to a push at this stage would be a little chaotic. Solar's still on 3 bases, though. And not just that, guys. It takes a while to mine these minerals. He's misclicked. He's misclicked the drone. Now he corrects it, but look at this. Does he get it? Oh, he gets it! The Banshee needed to be to the right. Even if it was slightly to the right, it would have stopped that from building. But a misstep for Cure, and Solar finally starts his 4th hatchery. It's late. And it does actually get cancelled, does it? Killed? Killed? Cancelled. Does get cancelled anyway. Solar. Oh my gosh. He's really struggling. We were watching Cyril against Clem on this map earlier today. It took him like 5 minutes to get this base up. I kid you not. You have to mine these minerals out early. You got to start getting lings breaking the rocks. You have to think about securing this 4th and 5th base on this map so early. Solar's expanding next to Cure. Guys, Cure can literally just... You can just push through here. Your base is next to his. This is a disastrous decision for Sol. He's playing Mutiling Bane as a composition that's even more counter-attack based than any other. The Banshee up there denying his expansion has basically made him... A bunch more changelings get caught. It's made Solar expand in a hero location. Now, for those who don't know, Hero, best Protoss player in the world, is famous for finding the worst expansion location on the map and always putting his 4th Nexus there. He loves doing it. It's one of his favorite things. Even did it in a very crucial game in Maestros the other day on Sanctuary, I believe it was. Decided to take the most exposed 4th base you could possibly imagine. Got immediately punished for it. And this base here is just a disaster. I mean, look at that. Q sees it. He's like, wait, are you for real? Are you actually? He's like, that's my 4th base, right? You just come in. All right, actually doesn't repair there. Be careful. Muta count could still pick off a fair bit. But the turrets are pushing him away. And I think we are going to see that this base is untenable long term. Single Ravager there on the high ground. I'm surprised he doesn't just kill the rocks and then just push up. You don't have to wait for the minerals. This base got denied again. It got denied again. Lings will see this drop heading north. Banshee's going to go back in on that base. Muta's still working this angle. Is the Hive up? Hive has not started. Infestation pit's there, though. T2's almost done for Terran. Oh, great Widow Mine. Turret goes down, and these Marines are a little slow to respond. If Cure wants to make that area unassailable, he will need to build a stack of like 3 or 4 turrets with a Widow Mine or 2 guarding it. Thor is building Oh, oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, that Widowmine doesn't quite fire. Solar kind of stumbling into Kua's army here in the middle of the map, but right now Solar is being allowed to mine from a 4th base directly adjacent to Kua's 3rd. And Kua's actually been scared off of taking it. He shouldn't be taking this base. He should have just been killing us, but he's attacking around a corner into it. And one has to question Kua. Why didn't he just break the rocks and take the direct push path? He's put himself in a position where he's only got this awkward around the corner way to retreat. Also, these rocks could get broken, trapping half of his army in the Zerg area with nowhere to kite backwards to. I feel like Kua's brain is a little... He's confused. He's seen this weird base location. He's freaking out over it. 4th base has to lift. He's going to send some units to defend. Can't believe Solar's been allowed to mine from that base as long as he has. Solar's finally got the base up on the left that is meant to be his 4th. Widow mines get some good shots. Solar still somehow mining this base. Kua struggling a little bit to keep up. Few Zerglings getting in on the 3rd. There's a skirmish on the front. The Banelings rolling in and out really well, avoiding the worst Widow mine shots. Mutas are going to take out the 4th base. Dude, Kua's falling apart. Kua got so confused by this base location. He's attacked around a corner. His 4th is going down. Lings are ravaging his 3rd. He's finally going to force the fight, and Solar dives on him. Takes a few bad Widow mine shots, but he gets a lot of Banelings onto those Marines. Brilliant play for Solar. Cleans up the command center on the right side. He's going to start damaging the natural. There's still Lings in the 3rd base, and Kua has lost the plot. This was Solar losing. He had such a good early game. But then Kua got in a good spot, but his brain broke. He didn't realize you can break these rocks here. You can mine these minerals out. You have the easiest push path directly from your 3rd onto their 4th. Instead, he took the long way around, got really confused because he realized his army was exposed there. It didn't feel right, so he was hesitant. He wasn't pushing in. And then instead of just slowly floating his 4th forward and taking this base off of Solar, took a 4th on the north, super exposed, lets Lings in his 3rd, and Kua has just fallen apart under pressure. It's a new map. It's an overwhelming situation. He's been playing pretty much every game from behind. But yeah, finally he realizes these are breakable rocks. You could just kill those. And he should have moved in at any moment. Solar was in an impossible position, but he stays calm, patient, weathers the storm. Despite Kua bringing out a lot of clever builds, a lot of clever positioning in this series, you can see that Solar's just been so calm and patient. Oh, that Widow Mine got 27 kills. Wow. Bio dancing in and out. Kua needs the best fight he's ever had in his life. Very few Marines in here. It's all about the massive Widow Mine shots. Solar doesn't even need to defend this base, but he's going to fight for it because he figures, why not? It seems like a good enough engagement. I'm far ahead in economy, but not quite the engagement he was looking for, and he's going to have to wait for these ultras to pop. A lot of drones do go down. Kua trying to get in on top of the rally. Kua trying to push this counter push in. He cancels the mass Baneling morph. Oh my gosh, Kua. He's on equal army supply right now. Can he make magic happen? It's 2-2 against 2-2 on the upgrades. No advantage there. Mutas come in to join the fray. The Marines obviously can beat that, but they are so damaged. They've like quadruple stimmed at this point. Banelings will finish morphing and ultras spawn on all sides. Kua's gone too deep. There's no way back. He had no economy behind it, so of course he had to make that play. And Solar is going to win today's finals after a bizarre, action-packed and fantastic series of games. That's a 3-1 win for Solar over Kua. And what an impressive series that was from both sides. I think we have to give props to Kua for playing so well from behind, but also to Solar for hanging in there and gets bullied into taking an expansion next to the Terran's 4th and somehow wins with it. I can't believe this did not get punished, guys. If I zoom out, you can fit both expansions on the screen. That's not meant to be good for Zerg. That is actually wild. That's wild. That's not meant to happen, man. Solar gets the 3-1. GG, well played.